Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Rifat. I am a scientist and I'm certified life and success coach. And today I am going to share one of my favorite story from the Neville Goddard books. And this is from the Law and the Promise. And this is a really good book and has a lot of interesting stories. And I will be reading for you. This basically story has a lot of nuggets, and this is about really vivid imagination and how to live from the end. So the story goes like this. Man is all imagination. For many years, a doctor and his wife dreamed about their stately habitation, but not until they imaginatively lived in it did they manifest it. Here is a story how they did it. Some 15 years ago, Mrs. M and I purchased a lot on which we built a 2-story building housing our office and living area. We left ample space on the lot for an apartment building, and if and when our finances would permit. So all those years we were busy paying off our mortgages, and at the end of that time had no money for the additional building we still desired so much. So it was true that we had ample savings account, which meant security for our business, but to use any part of it for a new building would be to jeopardize that security. Basically, they don't want to spend their save money on the building. But now your teaching awakened a new concept, boldly telling us we could have what we most desired through the controlled use of our imagination, and that realizing a desire was made more convincing without money. So we decided to put it a test, to forget about money and concentrate our attention on the things we desire the most in the world. And the new apartment building they want, but they don't want to spend their money, and they decided that they will put Neville Goddard's teaching into practice. So with this principle in mind, we mentally constructed a new building we wanted, actually drawing a physical plan that we could better formulate our mental picture of the completed structure, never forgetting to think from the end. In our case, completed occupied building. And we took many imaginative trips through our apartmental house, renting the units to the imaginary tenants, examining the detail in every room, and enjoying the feeling of pride as a friends offer congratulations. Basically, they was imagining that their friend congratulating them, and they was visiting their property, and people are renting their property and they're visiting in their imagination. So their friends offering them congratulations on the unique planning. And we brought into our imaginal scene one friend in particular. I shall call her Mrs. X, a lady we had not seen for some time, as she had given us up socially, believing us a bit peculiar in our new way of thinking. In our imaginal scene, we took her through the building and asked how she liked it. And hearing her voice distinctly, we had her reply, "Doctor, I think it is beautiful." Basically, they was hearing her telling them that, "Doctor, I think this is beautiful." One day while talking together of our building, my wife mentioned a contractor who had constructed several apartment houses in our neighborhood, and we knew him only by the name that appear on the signs adjacent to the building under the construction, but realizing that if we were living in the end, then we would not be looking for the contractor. So we promptly forget this angle and continue this period of daily imagination of several weeks. We both felt we were now fused with our desire and had successfully been living in the end. One day, a stranger entered our office and identified himself as a contractor, and whose name my wife had mentioned week before. And in an apologetic manner, he said, "I do not know why I stopped here. I normally do not go to see people, but rather people come to see me." And he explained that he passed our office and often, and he wondered why there weren't any apartment building on this corner lot. So we assured him we would like very much to have such a building there, but we had no money to put into the project. Not even few $100 I would take for plan. So our negative response did not faze him, and seemingly compelled, he began to figure and devise the way and means to carry out the job, and unasked and unencouraged by us. Forgetting the incident, we were quite startled when a few days later this man called and informed us that plans were completed and that the proposed building would cost $30,000. We thanked him politely and did absolutely nothing. So we knew that we have been living imaginatively in the end of completed building, and that imagination would assemble that building perfectly without outside assistance from us. So we were not surprised when the contractor called again the next day and say he had found a set of blueprints in his files that fitted our need perfectly with a few alterations. And this way we were informed would save us some architect fees for the new plan. We thanked him again, and still we did nothing. They still didn't do anything. They were living from the end. Logical thinkers would insist that such a negative response from prospective customers would completely end the matter. Instead, 2 days later, a contractor again called with the news that he had located a finance company willing to cover the necessary loan, with the exception of a few $1,000. This sounds incredible, but still we did nothing. For remember, to us, this building was completed, rented, and in our imagination, so in their imagination, building was completely rented and it was complete. So they was living from the end, not doing any action. So where I was, so for us, the building was completed and rented in our imagination, and we had not put our 1 penny into the construction. So the balance to the tale reads like a sequel to Alice in Wonderland. For the contractor came in our office next day and said, as though presenting us with a gift, "You people are going to have the new building anyway. I have decided to finance the balance of the loan myself, and if this is agreeable, I will have my lawyer draw up the paper, and you can pay me back of the net profit from the rentals." And this time we did something. What they did, we signed the paper and construction began immediately. Most of the apartment units were rented before final completion, and all but one occupied the day of completion. And we were so thrilled by a seemingly miraculous event of the past few months that for a while we didn't understand this seemingly flaw in our imaginal picture. And but knowing what we had already accomplished through the power of imagination, we immediately convinced another imaginal scene, and in it this time, instead of showing the party through the unit and hearing the word we will take it, they imagined themselves in the imagination and visited tenants who has already moved in the apartment, and we allowed them to show us through the rooms and heard their pleased and satisfied comments. 3 days later, that apartment was rented. Our original imaginary drama had objectified itself in every detail save one, and that one became reality when 1 month later our friend Mrs. X surprised us with a long overdue visit and expressing her desire to see our new building. Gladly we took her through, and at the end of the tour heard her speaking the line we had heard in our imagination so many weeks before. As with emphasis on each word, she said, "Doctor, I think it is beautiful." So that was our dream of 15 years was realized, and it came true. So that story is amazing story of imagination create reality, and the vivid imagination they did. And Neville talks about vivid imagination. Basically, vivid imagination is activating all of our senses, our sense of hearing, sense of taste, sense of seeing, and sense of touch and feeling. I will do one separate video on the vivid imagination, and this story, if anyone want to follow this story and to create something beautiful themselves, that is really amazing. And it reminds me when I manifested the house I am living in. Like I was in the same state. I was imagining, I have seen the house, and I was imagining myself living in the house and touching the wall and going in a garden and doing things with my family. I can see myself, I can feel myself, I can touch the wall and imagine myself living in the property. So that was my story, and hope you enjoy this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.